Thanks for tuning in to Off the Wall. I'm your host, Joshua Wall, and joining me on the show today is Nick Hayward from the Fit Effect. Nick, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me on.
So, to get started, who's Nick?
Well, first and foremost, I think I'm best known as being the owner of the Fit Effect and being a trainer, the original trainer that leads a team of trainers here in Paris. Someone who loves fitness. I'm true and true passionate about working out, and it's probably one of the most important things in my life. It's currently been a little bit of an odd time with the gym being closed, but I'm finding other ways to stay positive.
So, you're in phenomenal shape. Have you always been in great shape? Has fitness always been something that's been a part of your life?
For about the last 25 years, but I would say growing up, it really wasn't. That opportunity hadn't presented itself. But once I started discovering the gym, I think I got hooked at an early age. And literally, this has been a 25-year-old journey of accumulating experience and information and just growing this passion.
So, take me back 25 years. What was that spark? You walked into a gym, you met somebody, or you were inspired by somebody? What hooked you?
I had a big move when I was 17 from where I grew up here in Paris. They moved me down to the Midwest in the United States in Missouri, and didn't have a work permit or a green card temporarily, as my family was pretty quickly transported with my dad's job transfer, and my parents, needing something for me to focus on or wanting something for me to focus on. They signed me up at a local gym, and it was I was hooked from there.
Okay. So, fast forward, you can't help but notice the Fit Effect. You guys made a statement. You got the building, you got this beautiful sign. So how did you go from, just being, an enthusiast to opening up that facility? There's got to be a story. How'd you get started? Why do you do this? And, of course, how are you doing things differently right now?
Well, I think for me, it all started with a big life-changing event for me where I really wanted to restart and reinvent myself and follow my passion. I went to school for marketing and business administration in the States, worked some big jobs right out of university, lived in Chicago for a few years, kind of got into the rat race of a big business, and things like that just didn't end up making me happy, right? So I was able to return kind of to my roots, back to my hometown, to Paris, when I was about 30. And at that point, I thought I want to follow what makes me happy, not necessarily just what makes me money. And I started this business, the Fit Effect, out of a small, what at the time was a garage that I converted into a small studio. And from there, I just invested 100% energy into every opportunity I had with clients to make a difference in their life and to help them achieve their goals. And it just grew and grew. And from there, I think what was really the catalyst, a couple of clients that I was training that were so impressed with their results, that one client wanted to become a team member, and realizing that we couldn't share that studio, we realized that we had to get bigger and we had to expand. So from there, it's been a decade, 10 years of just constant growth and expansion and adding to the team. And that led me all the way to building our own facility, investing in our own development, owning our own real estate. And it's been a heck of a 10 years.
How come all the best stories start out in a garage?
I know, right?
Amazing.
Because when you work out of your garage, it means you're passionate about something.
So if I could dive a little deeper into it, so originally you were operating in this garage that you converted. Did you go immediately from that garage to what you have now?
We went for, well, I was on my own as a trainer in my little studio, which was only about 10 by 13 for a year and a half. And was just so busy. There was just not enough time in the day to work with the inquiries and clients that I had, and or to add to that team. So we went originally to an initial location of about 4,000 square feet, which again, that was a huge jump for me. So going from one room to, going to a facility where, one of the change rooms was bigger than my old facility. And then we grew within that industrial space. It was another building here in Paris, and we just kind of outgrew that space. So we've been making plans for years and strategizing on making a jump into our own building. where we could look at the long-term investment for us and the stability for us to grow in a space and have a little bit more control over the design and the quality of the facility. And now we're here in Paris on Hartley, which is a new street at the north end of town in a brand new state-of-the-art facility, and we couldn't be more excited.
So, speaking of state-of-the-art facility, tell me everything. I mean, I'm sure you're so excited to share it with everybody. So tell me about your site.
So, we definitely are all about optimizing the space that we have. So, and I'm a bit of a collector of equipment. So over the years, I've kind of had my finger on the pulse of, anytime gyms go out of business, I accumulate and restore a lot of the original, I would say, 90s style fitness equipment that is some of the best stuff ever designed and ever made. And with the help of my cousin, who's a fabricator, so cousin Jamie always helps me get stuff sandblasted, powder coated, reupholstered. So we have almost 200 pieces of equipment spread throughout about 12,400 square feet. So people are usually, it's a small town. Paris is a growing town. It's not going to be that small in the years to come. But when they first walk in our facility and see that it's has 28-foot ceilings and that it's 200 feet long, and the amount of equipment that's in there, people are usually pretty amazed. So I'm always happy to give tours.
So let's get into the dynamics then. So the Fit Effect, it's a building, it's in Paris, it's got all this equipment. Somebody just walks in the door and gets started, or what's the process here?
Yeah, I mean, in normal daily operations, when things are normal, anybody can enter in and take a tour and sign up. We give to all new signups some time with a trainer for a free safety orientation. Because at one time, I remember I said when I was 17, I joined a gym, and that was exciting, but it was also intimidating. So I don't forget that from where I came from, that not everybody walks in and knows what to do. So the other thing is the Fit Effect is also built on the concept of guided fitness. Lots of availability to trainers. So we're big on that. We have 9 trainers on the team now. Not everybody, of course, needs a trainer or wants a trainer, but there's a lot of things that you can observe and resources and information that you can learn from to make joining the gym a little bit less intimidating. And also the layout that we have, I find in itself is reduces intimidation, because the gym, even though it's quite open compared to our previous location, which was like room after room because we grew over a 10-year period in it, it still has different zones where we have ladies only area, where we have a cardio only mezzanine, where we have a designated strength area where it's a little bit more of that old fashioned free weight movements. And the space is so big and the equipment density layout is so, I think, unique, that it provides a certain inherent amount of privacy. Even though it is a vast open space, it still feels like everyone has a zone they can get comfortable in.
So preparing for this interview, I started following you on all forms of social media, your Instagram, your Facebook, and by proxy, I started seeing stories that other people were sharing about the Fit Effect. And one thing is resoundingly clear: the environment, the family feeling, the camaraderie, tell me about that. I mean, that's something that doesn't just happen. It's something that you have to curate. Tell me about how you create a welcoming, fun, safe, environment for people to come to.
Yeah, I think it's always amazing, and I don't know if it stems from my leadership. I mean, I'm there a lot. I'm there, sometimes 15 hours a day. And even me personally as a trainer, I work with all types of clients, from people that are weight loss clients to people that are elderly that need help with mobility, strengthening and conditioning so they can help maintain their independence, to kids that are playing sports. So there's so many different types of people, and everyone intermingles and everyone gets along. It's like everyone's on the same team and kind of feeds off of each other's successes and energy. So over the years, I remember meeting people that did walk in kind of with that intimidated look on their face and welcome them in. And they would, look around and be like, "Oh, I'm not sure I'm in the right place." And I give them a tour and talk to them. And then they would be amazed that other people in their situation were also members. Just there might be a bit of a negative stigma about about a lot of gyms, especially where people take, results and training seriously. But we take results and training seriously for all different types of people. So everyone's goals are differently. Our big thing is we're passionate about helping, whether it's somebody recovering from surgery that's elderly, trying to get mobility to their knee back, or whether it's somebody that's a peak performing athlete. Everybody's goals are equally important and everybody knows that. So no one judges anyone for where they're starting at or what their goals are to get to.
I think that's a perfect segue to my final question about your business. And this is blending my first questions and my second questions. Why? Why do you do this? I mean, you didn't have to open up a gym. You didn't have to create this environment. You didn't have to purchase all this equipment and open up a facility. So what's your why? Why are you doing this?
I think I just love it. I love it so much because of what fitness has done for me personally that it just becomes, it's almost contagious that I want to share it with other people. I want to share the ability to empower them physically, which I know strengthens them mentally. So with that being said, every person that I get to sit down with, like a new member or maybe a member that has a question, I typically give them more than what they're asking for because it is my true passion to have them be successful with their goals. Not just because successful members stay members, just because it truly gives me satisfaction and gives me relevance to my career path and my identity if I can help people.
That's amazing. You're amazing.
Thanks, man. So are you.
So, the theme of this week's episode is peak performance. I couldn't think of anybody who might be able to put that into words better than maybe you. You're all about peak performance, making sure that, we are operating at this level instead of down here. So, two questions. One, how do you personally push yourself to peak performance? And how do you get that out of others?
Well, I think it's something that my entire staff really demonstrates, like from all the trainers and the people that work at the Fit Effect, is we're always setting goals for ourselves, and those goals are often related to physical performance, but they help mentally so much as well. So, with that being said, the power truly is if you set a goal, you're so much more likely to follow through with and do the work required to have that outcome. So I think that's something I see reflected in the attitude of all my trainers is they really constantly preaching to people the importance of like, acknowledging their why, like why are you here? What are you trying to accomplish? And putting a critical timeline on it of a goal. Like it is not an end date, it's stages, right? So it's people often say, well, what about after the goal? What about once you achieve it? Do you just go back to normal? So for me, it's all about constantly elevating the expectations that someone has of themselves, of what they're capable of achieving in a healthy way, so that they can constantly achieve a new level of peak performance. Or sometimes the real victory is maintaining your performance as you age. So it's all about that healthy perspective. So for me, even as I age, I keep my goals in a healthy perspective for where I am in my life with the time that I have to dedicate to myself and my goals, but also as I age, I try to, control that process as much as I can with the goals that I set.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I feel like the beautiful thing about, being a human is that once you hit peak performance, that becomes the new norm. And then you've got to push it even harder than that to get the new peak performance. And honestly, once you get started, what we can accomplish, it's humbling sometimes just how much, if you look back at where you were and then sometimes where you are, it makes sense. You can get where you're going, right?
Now, something I want to touch on really quick is, with the evolution of my business and even the equipment offering that we started with and that we have now, something that people used to question, like, what is it about the Fit Effect? Like I've heard people talking about it. What are you guys doing differently there? I always used to say, and this still remains true, it wasn't so much about the equipment that we had or that we have now. It's about the staff and the collective energy of the staff and the members. So we often, and I use this hashtag Fit Effect Family, when we get new members, those members become assimilated into our family, into our community, and they become part of that energy that cumulatively benefits all of us. So, we now have top-notch equipment, but I'm telling you, looking back at old pictures when I first started, and I used to be so proud of some of the equipment that I had, but it was really old derelict equipment, and people still got great results because of the energy and the motivation. And that is built and built and built over the years as our membership has grown. So now the energy is even stronger and the equipment is even better. So we are so excited as this town grows, and we want to welcome more people into this family, hence why we built this new big building.
If you think that what you can accomplish when you're doing one-on-one training with a coach like yourself, how much you can push yourself and how you can, have somebody motivate you to be more. Once you've reached the limit on that, you join, like what you just said, a family. And when you are surrounded by peak performers, you just, like, through almost osmosis, you just become better. And that's a powerful effect. That's the fit effect, yeah?
That's the fit effect.
I love it. I love it. So every week on the show, I like to give people like yourself an opportunity to give a shout out to a community initiative or a nonprofit organization or something that you're involved in the community that you'd like to shine a bit of the spotlight on. So is there anything that you're currently working on or doing that you would like to talk about to our viewers?
Yeah, I've been part of an initiative that's co-sponsored with the Fit Effect and Absolute Health and Wellness, which is one of our neighboring businesses in our new building, on something called Healthy Brant. And it's really a platform where we share free resources to all the local community members that follow along. Just trying to help people any way we can with different ways they can find to do fitness at home. There's going to be more and more tips on nutrition and tips on resources for mental health and just all kinds of things that we know sometimes people are maybe feeling a bit lost right now or don't know where to turn for information. So I think that's something that is a positive way that I can share the energy that I have that right now isn't put into the one-on-one training. I'm using this online platform to help the local community.
That sounds just so incredibly important right now. So tell me again, it's Healthy Brant?
Healthy Brant, yep.
You can find and who are the partners?
Absolute Health and Wellness is a multidisciplinary clinic that's our neighbor in the building that we're in. So they're a team of naturopath doctors, physiotherapy, chiropractic, massage therapy, acupuncture, and they are taking turns with their team, just putting out free information, doing videos, articles, just things that we believe can inspire people and provide resources that's going to help people and just provide knowledge.
And where do you go to get more information about it?
You can go search Healthy Brant on Facebook, or it's just Healthy Brant at Healthy Brant on Instagram. We'll launch a website shortly that'll have kind of all the content from both platforms put onto it and all the links to the videos. But right now it's those two social media platforms. Those are the best places to go.
All right. Well, then wrapping it all up, how do we stay in touch with you? I'm sure after watching this interview, people are going to want to know more about Nick. They're going to want to know more about the Fit Effect, more about Healthy Brant. How do we stay in touch? How do we follow your story? How do we take part?
Again, Facebook or Instagram are the most, I think, common platforms that I'm updating information on. So it's the Fit Effect. It's at the Fit Effect on Instagram, and just search the Fit Effect on Facebook. Pretty easy to find. And we're going to be really ramping up as much content as we can to inspire people and try to get people back on track as we get a little closer to spring here.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, for sharing your story. I can't wait to come out and tour the facility. It sounds like what you guys are doing is amazing stuff. And thank you so much for coming on the show today and telling us all about it.
Well, thank you for having me. And Josh, I cannot wait to train you on leg day.
Oh God, I'm not looking forward to that.
I can't wait.
Oh,
yeah, so I don't know what your hair is going to do when you're training legs. Like, it's going to be so intense.
Usually when I crush my workouts, I tie my hair up because you just can't manage this.
Yeah.
So we have a whole lineup of great guests coming on our next couple of episodes. This is Off the Wall. I'm your host, Joshua Well. Nick from the Fit Effect. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.